Good morning, and welcome to the virtual worship service of the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Reverend Kate Wilkinson, and I'm so glad that you have joined us this week for one of my favorite services every year, our water communion. We never imagined that we'd have to get creative and improvise a new version of our beloved ritual for a second year running. But that is just what we did earlier this week. We hosted an outdoor drive-through walk-up water communion at beautiful Beech Forest. And I thank all of you who came by to add your water as part of the ritual, and all of you who sent in pictures from afar. It was such a lovely reminder that though we are spread out, living our individual lives, when we come together as a community, sharing ourselves with one another, we create a well of love with enormous depth that all of us can draw on when our spirits are running dry. To open our water communion service this morning, I offer this call to worship by my colleague, Reverend Karen Johnston. This is a call to flow as rivers flow, effortless and mighty, to find hope in each other, to inspire each other, to never go it alone. This is a call to new beginnings, to new creations, to new chances to do good deeds, to forgive and seek forgiveness, and to be written into the book of life. This is a call to offer solace when it is needed and where, to find joy whenever it offers itself up in the now of every moment. This is a call to find your heart's most precious intention. This is a call to come back, come home, come to your senses, come to yourself, come to your whole and holy self. This is a call for body and soul, for each and for every to be healed by flowing waters, by mighty waters, by sacred waters that show us the way. Come, let us worship together. And now, as I light our chalice here in the Meeting House Sanctuary, I invite you to light a candle wherever you are. In that way, we can feel connected, even while we are apart.
Thirsty by Gregory Paley. And so we gather from the ebb and flow of our lives, thirsty for connection to ourselves, thirsty for connection to others, thirsty for connection to larger life. As we light this chalice, may all who gather this hour be filled with joy and hope, filled with compassion and love. Here may we be filled so that we may then pour ourselves out into the world.
Love is the spirit of this meeting house. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Poet Philip Larkin writes, "If I were called in to construct a religion, I should make use of water. Going to church would entail affording to dry different clothes. My liturgy would employ images of sousing, a furious, devout drench, and I should raise in the east a glass of water where any angled light would congregate endlessly. I love that. I picture all of you soaked to the bone after fording a moat or channel or stream, hell-bent on reaching beloved community. Looking a little bedraggled as you finally reach dry land, wiping your hair out of your wet, shimmering faces, donning fresh clothes as you ready yourselves to experience the place where light congregates endlessly. And in a way, that is what we do. It's just that the moats that we cross to be together aren't visible to the naked eye, and the evidence of our exertions are less obvious than wet hair. But we all overcome something to come together. Anxiety, busy schedules, religious scars from the past. We all leave something behind on the other bank of the river. Judgment, skepticism, the walls we've built up. They're waiting for us, of course, when the hour is over. But by then, we've been so distracted and changed by the beauty and the warmth of the reflected light that sometimes we forget to pick them up again. Alleluia. Part of the symbolism of the water communion is that when we each bring ourselves to the container of beloved community, we fill a well that others can drink from in their hour of thirst. When we bring the whole of our experience and share it with others, the community is richer, deeper for our addition. Each person adds to the bowl and the water rises each time. We sustain one another out of our collective abundance. Water communion and the beginning of a new year are a good time to ask the question, what is it that I bring to the community? What are my strengths? What do I offer? My friend Molly asks us to think about our gifts as they relate to the power of water. Water's power comes in many forms, and so does ours. What is your power?
Strength of water takes on many forms. just as each of us has a unique and necessary strength that we bring to our community and the work of love. Take a moment now to drop down into the deep wellspring of your own spirit and bathe yourself in the strength that is the groundwater of your person. Are you a roaring fall wearing rock away with sheer force of will? Are you a small sliver of water in a crevice, breaking it open slowly and steadily? Are you buoyant, like a great salt lake, practiced at holding yourself or others aloft? Are you tenacious like the mountain stream, finding your way down and around and through every obstacle you face? Are you still and calm like the pond at daybreak, radiant peace found by your shores? Are you in touch with hidden depths, pulling from a vast well deep within? Do you soothe like the steam rising from a cup of tea? Do you dissolve away stubborn muck like dishwater? Do you soften and smooth the edges like a creeping frog? Do you clear away distraction like a cleansing rain? Do you roll with the ebb and flow, with the rhythm of the ocean waves? Settle your mind upon the strength, the power that is yours. Draw that strength into your heart, draw it up into your soul, and there find peace. As we endure difficult times together, we need each of our power, each of our resilience, each of our love to make us whole.
Maybe you are unsure what your power is, what gift you bring to us. Rabbi Jason Rosenberg tells this story. There was once an old woman who lived by herself. To get any fresh water, she had to go to the river, a trip she made every day. Each morning, she took a long pole and put it over her shoulders and placed a bucket on each end. Then she'd walk the dirt path from her house all the way to the river. At the river, she would take the pole off her shoulders, take each bucket off the pole, and one at a time she would dip each bucket in the river, filling it with cold, fresh water. Then she would place each bucket back on the pole, carefully lift it back to her shoulders, and turn to make her way back, a bit more slowly, to her little house at the end of the dirt path. One day, the woman noticed as she walked home, the left-hand bucket held the water as she expected it to, but the right-hand bucket had a small crack in the bottom. As soon as the woman started walking down the path, the bucket would start leaking a little, a steady, persistent drip. By the time the woman reached home, the bucket was half empty. The days passed, the months passed, then a year. Always she returned home with one bucket full, one bucket half full. One day, just as they arrived at the river, the right-hand bucket sighed. This surprised the woman. She had never heard a bucket sigh before. Then the bucket spoke. "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry." "What are you sorry about?" the woman asked the bucket. "That I keep leaking. You work so hard to bring water to the house, and I am half empty by the time we get home. A bucket has one job, and I can't do it correctly." "Well, you do bring home water, a half bucket full," the old woman assured the bucket. "Don't mock me," said the bucket. "I know what I am. I'm a failure. I was meant to carry water, and I can't do it. I have this crack, this defect. I'm a failure at the one thing I'm meant to do." The old woman looked down at the bucket. This bucket which had been on her right side for all this time. After a long moment, she began to speak. "My good friend, I am so sorry. I had no idea that you felt this way. You've been suffering all this time and you have no idea at all, do you?" "What do you mean? No idea about what?" asked the bucket. "Here, let me show you," said the woman. She gently picked the bucket up and filled it with water. She put it on the pole as usual, and she added the left-hand bucket filled up on its side. As they walked down the dirt path to home, she said to the left-hand bucket, "What do you see?" "What do I see?" said the left-hand bucket, who had never spoken before. "I see dirt. I see the path. I see the same thing I see every day." "That's right," said the woman. "Now, what do you see?" she said to the right-hand bucket. The bucket looked down for the first time, and she was amazed. All along the edge of the dirt path were flowers. Beautiful, colorful flowers showing every hue imaginable. While the left side was bare, the right side was lush and picturesque. "I planted those flowers," said the woman. "They're lovely, but they need a lot of care, and they especially need daily watering. So when I found you, I knew I had found exactly what I needed. Every morning I fill you with water, and every morning as I walk back up this hill, you sprinkle out so carefully, so precisely, drop by drop, exactly the right amount of water to keep these flowers alive, to keep them flourishing, to keep them beautiful. This path is the most wonderful place in my entire world, and it's because of you." The woman consoled the bucket. "I'm so sorry that you never knew this. So sorry that you thought you were broken, that you were a failure. You're not a failure, and you're not broken. You're perfect." The bucket was stunned into silence, and the woman looked at it with wise eyes and said, "What's amazing is that precisely the thing that you thought made you broken was the exact same thing which made you so powerful. What you thought was your greatest flaw was exactly what I needed to make our world a more beautiful place." Friends, never doubt that your presence here among us matters. Never doubt that you have gifts to bring, to share, that you have power. It might just be that your power comes from your broken places. If I were called in to construct a religion, I should make use of water. Going to church would entail affording to dry different clothes. My liturgy would employ images of sousing, a furious, devout drench. And I should raise in the east a glass of water where any angled light would congregate endlessly. Amen, and blessed be.
Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Bring it in a bucket now. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Bring it in a bucket now. Bring it in a bucket, Sylvie. Every little once in a while. Sylvie, come running, bucket in her hand. She will bring a little water fast as she can. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little water now. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while.
Can't you see me coming? Can't you see me now? I will bring a little water
Every little once in a while. Bring me a little water, Sylvie. Bring me a little